Hola, mi gente. Tio Lalo is back officially out of YouTube jail. I had to take a couple days hiatus due to YouTube flagging my content. But we're back. Now, with that being said, now that we're back, we are going to have to switch it up a little bit. I looked a little bit deeper into YouTube's definition of stuff, and unfortunately, they don't just use the legal definitions for stuff. They have their own quote-unquote parameters. So, in order to fall within those parameters, I will no longer be showing on live actual slides, actual any sort of part that resembles a functional part, if that makes sense. I know it sucks, but we'll still be teaching how to hand engrave. We'll still be doing a lot of the stuff as far as walkthroughs for everything. Now with this one, what we've got going on here, we are doing a little hanger for the rear view mirror. So we're going to be engraving it out. It's just a thin gauge. And yeah, I'll be hanging with a little chain. Molina Motors. It's for a YouTube channel starting up here shortly. So let's get to doing this. First things first, we've got to double side stick it. So we're gonna throw some tape. Now, if this tape doesn't work, we're gonna go grab the Gorilla Glue tape, which is a much stronger tape. But this is thinner right here, so I want to try to use this one if I can. Double-sided stick tape is one of your best friends when it comes to engraving stuff. Hey guys, thank you for tuning in. Appreciate it. Again, just fresh out of YouTube jail. So we're going to keep within the parameters of what YouTube, quote-unquote, calls safe content from my side. Still Wallace, thank you. All right. Make sure that this is all clean. In fact, I'm going to grab some alcohol to wipe it. All right, here we go. Taking care of any of those oils on the surface so we can get a clean stick. Fantastic. All right. Yes, we are engraving, guys. So we hand engrave metal on here, and we do a few other little metal work stuff, but the majority of it's going to be hand engraving metal. Now, this is a copper ornament that's going to be on the mirror. If you guys have seen like the little tree ornaments, you can't actually use that same. You can't use that shape. They'll stew the crap out of you if you use their shape. I mean, they're pretty serious about it. Apparently, they've got an entire department that'll come after you for copyright infringement. All right. Again, guys, we are going to be using a 120-degree graver. We've got the Lindsay air graver right here. This is a pneumatic graver. I've got a pedal down here, which I press down. Every time I press the hammer, there's a little metal piece in there that goes back and forth. Basically acts like a hammer. Now, if you guys have seen me before, you guys know if you're looking to start up, you don't need to go expensive like I have this stuff here. You can go with a very simple setup with a chaser and a hammer. So basically a chasing hammer and a chisel, in essence. Now I'm trying to find my chisel that I usually...
I don't see an app for that. You'll need to download one.
I don't know what Siri's doing, but... Sorry, Siri went crazy there. I'm talking to it. This is one of the chasing hammers I like to use. With copper, copper's pretty cool in the fact that you don't need to have this fancy schmancy equipment that I've got here. You can do it all by hand. It's called hand push. And so we're not even going to use, like I'm going to show you, we don't even need to use any power on this. We can literally just hand push, engrave. So if you're looking to start up, hand push engraving is pretty feasible. With copper, because it's so soft. Usually you hear me pressing my foot pedal. We don't need it technically. I'm still going to use it just because I like to use it. It makes it easier. And boom. Joshua Burnett, thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate you getting a membership. We're going to be starting some pretty cool stuff on there. So as you guys can see, we've got the 120-degree graver. You don't need power. I just use pure push. So if you guys go on like eBay and you guys can buy some of these cheap pretty cheap. These are hand push gravers, and these are just high-speed steel. You can find them pretty cheap. This was a Temu find. So this right here is a Temu find. You do have to buy the carbide tips, and then learn how to sharpen them. But this carbide tip, I think, ran me like $10, and this thing ran me like $6 on Temu. And you can do what I just did there with this with no power. So let's look at doing another. And this one's kind of, I sharpened this one pretty poorly, so we'll see how good it is. Let's see if I can find a good little line to follow. Yeah, we'll start right here. Why not? Part of the... As you guys can see, again, just a matter of pushing. This is called push graving. Buy yourselves a pretty cheap Lazy Susan from like your local grocery store, like Walmart or something. You can do it. And yeah. That was just with push graving. So Joshua Burnett, yes. So this is just a copper sheet. So you can do copper sheets. You could technically buy these plates right here and do it with plates as well. I like the copper sheeting just because it's cheap. These plates are pretty cheap on Amazon too. I got thicker plates. And yeah, just like I said, go buy yourself some of these push gravers and stuff. On the next live that I do with this, I'll go ahead and make sure to link some of this stuff on there. So yeah. Joshua Burnett, yes. So learning on copper sheeting or copper, you do have to be careful in the fact of this is great for beginning because you get to actually carve it out pretty easy. But once you start getting into the higher tier stuff with steels, steel tends to be harder. So you tend to not be able to do a lot of push graving with steel. It's still doable. A lot of people do it still, but understand that make sure that your hand is under the vise, whatever you're using to turn, because if you're over, you're usually pushing really hard, and all it takes is one little slip, and then you're into your hand, and it will cut you immediately. So, all right, well, let's get going with the power portion though, just because I want to get going on power, and it is faster. But yeah, Joshua, feel free to reach out on the members only page. I'm more than happy to help you out. Now, like I said, we're going to be using power on this one. I'm going to use the least amount of power because we don't need it. But this makes it a lot faster. So that's why I like it. And Jonathan, we're working on a car freshener. There's going to be a new YouTube channel. So somebody reached out that is starting a new YouTube channel. So I'm collabing with them. Molina Motors on there. So yeah, we're doing this is an Apache truck with the mountains in the back, just because it's like the Idaho scenery. And we've got the some of the filigree already set out. So yeah, we've polished it out. So it looks pretty scratched up, but it's actually very, very clean once we wipe it down. So Joshua Burnett, thank you for the donation. Thank you. Alex, should suit you perfectly then. Alex, thanks for the donation, man. Appreciate it. If you guys know this, I mean, I served for a while, so I've got good humor. To a certain extent, I've got pretty good humor, so. John Charles, you know, I guess I usually say like my pleasure, I guess, but you know, it is what it is. I enjoyed it. It was fun. Have any other vets on here tonight or today, I guess? Nacho business. Let's see. So this is the Steve Lindsay Air Classic Graver. Again, guys, you don't need this per se to do it. You can use a push graver. You can do it with push graving, something like this. Just careful with your hands so you don't accidentally slip, knock yourself in. Like I said, I got this one. I got this piece off Temu right here. This is a Temu piece. And then this was actually from, I believe, GRS or Pepe Tools, this carbide graver. So this is a carbide graver, but you can also use any carbide like burr you have. So, sorry guys, I'm looking for a carbide. Okay, so I've got carbide tips. Like this is my broken drill tip. So this is a carbide drill tip. If it had enough, the tip's carbide right here. You can always make a tiny little bit out of it in order to grave. Here's an example. This is a makeshift homemade one. Anthony Pond. Sounds like you want to catch some hands, my guy. Grab my other glasses. Let's see. Sorry guys, we're gonna not do it under the microscope. I was doing it under the microscope. We don't need to do it. This is actually large enough work piece that I can do it by Tyler Thumb. Hi, man. Appreciate you buying it for me, from me. PDX, yes, it is pretty easy to go pretty deep. Especially on copper. I always do wonder how many of the haters can actually throw hands. I've always wondered that. If all they do is just, talk the crap online just because anytime you'd meet them in real life, they'd probably shut their yapper. I've always wondered that. Like, everybody will say they can throw hands until it's time to get punched in the face, and then they can't handle it. It's always funny. It's usually the loudest people that talk crap that can't back it up or found out. Oh, I can't throw hands. Support the little guy. I can't throw hands for crap, man. In fact, I hate getting punched. You get punched, like, rattles your head, just sucks. Norbert Zadek, awesome, man. The Art of Engraving is an amazing book. Get that one. Sam Alfano just put out a new book called The Engraver's Codex. It's a little expensive, but it has a ton of great knowledge to use on there. Oh no, yeah. I mean, let's see. Rogue Slide, I am soft. I'm a little overweight, man. How'd you know? Just for decoration, Mello. What's funny is no matter how much I look at it with my naked eye, I can't see some of the lines. Yeah, no, this is more of a, yeah, when I said air freshener, I meant, I guess I didn't mean literally. I guess the internet sometimes does take me literally. But it's just to hang. Some people like to do their vehicle's emblem. Yeah, a lot of lowrider, a lot of the lowrider scenes like these kind of stuff. So if you guys get into engraving copper, you can do this by hand without even power, like a power machine like I have. Just push graving, and yeah, you could technically sell it for. I mean, I don't know what it goes for. I'm not part of the lowrider scene, so I'm not sure. And yeah, no, I'm not doing this for commission just because I don't take it for commission. This is more so just for, well, as you guys know, I went to YouTube jail. So we're going to start to flare it out quite a bit. So left and right. Or King Saber? Yeah, I definitely can. I'm actually there is a video that I'm working on how I made this one. So that should be out here in a couple of weeks or a week or so. We'll go over. Normie, I went to YouTube jail because I showed a slide that I was working on. So my main practice that I do for engraving, guys, if you guys don't follow me, is I like to work on pew-pews, two-way items, right? So I tend to work on Colts. I like to work on Colt 1911s quite a bit, and so I hand engrave a lot of these Colts. I consider them art, but apparently YouTube did not like the slide being on there. Now, legally, the slide is not considered a firearm, but YouTube disagrees with that. So I have to fall within YouTube's parameters now in order not to go back to YouTube jail. So now we're making car fresheners right now. And don't worry, guys, we're going to do some other stuff, because I can still work on a lot of the designs on other pieces of metal. So to teach you guys, so if you guys are looking to do something like that, I can still teach it. I just have to get creative with it. And that's all right. It's just a challenge. It is what it is. Tin can. This is the Steve Lindsay air graver. Let's see. Give me 1 second, guys. We're gonna. Mellow Red Art is actually pedal driven, so I've got a pedal down here. If you want to see, I've got a pedal down here. Every time I push it, all right, in order to make this a little easier for me to see where I'm going to be engraving, we're going to do a quick little trick. So, since we used a laser to make the initial etch where we hand engrave so we can get a bright cut, we're just going to go ahead and use a black ink. There's some India ink right here. This is all it takes. This is actually what I tend to use on, or I use enamel, like Rust-Oleum enamel, to fill in the black. This isn't going to be permanent. Alcohol will remove this, so it's pretty easy. I guess, maybe. If I have any left in here, maybe. Now, what is going on? Okay. All right, we're gonna pour it out. So what's kind of cool with copper is if you can make an engraving, you can actually use India ink like this, how I'm doing it, to make a reverse print on a piece of paper. So this should give us a little bit better etch, hopefully. And I say hopefully as in I hope. Didn't quite take into the portions that I need it to. We're gonna try it one more time. We're gonna use a harder piece of paper, so it only does the surface. Again, luckily this ink is alcohol soluble, so even if I make a mess, it's not taking it. It is what it is. Okay. I stand corrected. We're just gonna clean it off. I was hoping to find a better way to see that design. That's all right. I'm gonna move some stuff around, guys. Sorry. go. There we go. A little bit better. So I'm actually going to be using some visors. So if you guys don't have a microscope, you guys can always use a visor like this. There we go. Now I can see what I'm doing. I've got to move this light somehow. I apologize, guys. Come on, pain in the butt right now. All right, we're gonna move again. We're actually moving to the opposite side. My camera holder just broke, which is fantastic. Of course, everything's breaking while I need it to work. All right, guys, I'm gonna put this on pause while I figure out how to hang my camera up again real fast. So give me a second, I'll be right back. All right, sorry for the disaster, guys. Still not working the way I need it to work. I still don't like how you guys have this angle. I'm not sure if I can fix it, but I'm going to try to fix it, guys. There we go. I think that looks a little bit better. Don Mario, I would do the Steve Lindsay Air Graver right here, the Air Classic. My favorite. This is a Steve Lindsay air graver. See if I can get it right there. This is the classic. Sorry guys, trying to get you. The reason I have that light on is just so I can actually see too. All right, guys, this is about as far as we're going to get through today. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you guys coming back and checking me out. Again, guys, this isn't my primary thing. This is more like kind of like a little side project I've got going. We've got a few other things. Obviously, my main squeeze when it comes to engraving is usually on firearms and stuff, but we can no longer do that on lives as far as the slide portion goes, even though it's not considered a firearm. So we're going to be shifting onto other projects where I'm teaching you, whether it's something like this, this is just a simple little project, nothing fancy by any means, or even doing practice plates where we're messing around with stuff like this, where we're actually practicing inlays, bronze, bright cuts, stippling, things like that. My goal is to just teach you guys as much as I possibly can. We'll talk about stuff. This is a crappy engraving, but we'll talk about, jewelry engraving as far as that goes. And yeah, again, guys, thank you for tuning in. Appreciate all the support. Until next time, continue to create some beautiful art. Dio Lalo is out. Peace.